as an artist, a lot of times when you attempt something, when I attempt to produce music like this, and I'm like, gosh dang it, this is so dang hard. This is so dang hard. And a lot of times you can try to hold yourself up to this standard or this bar that you see other people at. You don't realize you're watching like you're watching my year 5 right now of being a songwriter, when it feels like the beginning. I am sitting down to work on a song that was originally not going to be on this album, but after producing I Won't Do It Again, this song is very closely intertwined with it, so I'm like, I gotta. I've been teaching myself music production completely on my own. Me, myself, and YouTube University. In order to produce these 3 albums that have been sitting in my voice memos for over 5 years now. Producing this album at times feels so intimidating because I look at the list of songs and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I just think of how many hours it will take to do it all, right? In a world of instant gratification and 6-second TikToks. I wonder if it's hard for other people, as it might be for myself, to actually sit down and commit yourself to years of working on something. But like anything worthwhile, good things do take time, right? As Glennon Doyle said in her book Untamed, you don't let go of something great just because it's difficult. I just finished producing the song I Won't Do It Again.
You can't stand the mess I leave, but I won't do it again, I won't do it again, I won't.
And at the time of writing the acoustic version of this song, which was 5 years ago, what? It felt to me like one of my weaker songs. See, in my opinion, songs have 2 sides, right? There's the writer side and the audience side, meaning songs are either meaningful to the writer or meaningful to the listener, are very different things. Of course, they can be meaningful to both, but where you get the meaning is derived from very different places. For example, songs that are meaningful to the writer are often meaningful because of what they reveal autobiographically for the writer during the writing process, how you learn more about yourself by writing the song. And then there's the side for the audience, meaning how pleasing is the song to listen to. That's where you get pop music, right? Because those songs are the ones that really target the audience about how pleasing can we make this song to listen to, how catchy can we make it, how relatable is the messaging of the song and to how many people. Those are the songs that are meaningful for the audience. And the song I Won't Do It Again had a really strong writer side meaning to me. I remember growing up and I would constantly think to myself, like I would have this intrusive thought. It was like a voice saying, I'm a bad person. And it wasn't like me thinking that about myself. It was mostly just like this intrusive, I'm a bad person, I'm a bad person, and not knowing why I would think that and not knowing where to target that shame, right? There's nothing that I can point to and say, I won't do that again. Like what do I regret specifically? There wasn't something tangible that I could point to. Instead, it was just this feeling of whatever it is, I won't do it again. Just don't keep making me feel like this kind of feeling. So in a way, I Won't Do It Again felt like a self-serving song. But after producing it, it somehow evolved. The production elements of this song really do elevate and emphasize the feeling of that perpetual shame. The repeating guitar lines that happens the entirety of the song, the way that you repeat that scenario over and over in your head, except for in the bridge, which is where you're taken out of the shame and you're like, this is the way that you make me feel rather than the way that I am. The entire song is I am until the bridge, and then it's like you're making me feel like this. And so that's the area where the repeating guitar line is finally taken out. And then you also have the reversed guitar lines towards the end, which symbolize regret or taking back of an action. And once I put all of it together, it really became a whole new song. And I can't be happier. No, I cannot be happier now to be making this album. Like, I'm really glad to be starting where I am with this, with volume 1, because I have 3 albums to produce. And I'll admit, with how much time has gone by between now and when I wrote these songs, this first album feels somehow less personal to me because I'm so far away from that version of myself. And so it feels like there are lower stakes. And so it's easier on me emotionally if I fail at producing them, which I have. I've tried to Be Somebody and taking turns a couple times, and while it was annoying and frustrating for me, it didn't feel like a personal letdown that I'm like, God, I wish I could do this. Whereas if I failed at Lifeboats again, I'd be like, I'd be so upset because that song means so much to me. So I really am happy that I'm kind of practicing in a way how to make music so that by the time I get to volume 3, which has all of my favorite, the total banger of songs, I will have built up enough skills to really do these songs justice. I don't know why we constantly treat a skill as if it's talent. Like talent and skill, people often see as like synonymous. They'll see someone who has built up years and years and years of skill and say, oh, they're so talented, when in reality it's years of practice to get there. As an artist, a lot of times when you attempt something, when I attempt to produce music like this, and I'm like, gosh dang it, this is so dang hard. This is so dang hard. And a lot of times you can try to hold yourself up to this standard or this bar that you see other people at. You don't realize you're watching like you're watching my year 5 right now of being a songwriter, when it feels like the beginning, like year 1. It's really important to recognize that what they have is not unique to them. You can do it too. When I first started producing this music, I really tried to ingrain it in myself. This is a tool. And what they are using, I can also use. I can also learn. There's nothing special about them that makes this particular only to them. I can learn it too. And that is a very different mindset than the mindset I had about 5 years ago when I first tried to start producing music. I think I attempted to produce my song Degraded about like 6 times now. Just all about learning. It's about trying and failing and falling and getting back up and to do it again, because if you're an artist, the way that like my brain is very artsy, my brain will not let me leave this alone. This project has to be seen through and it has to be finished. I can't leave it alone. If I were to be on my deathbed and like to be asked about my one regret, it would be if these albums were not finished and put out there into the world. I remember I showed some of my friends my song Rewrite.
I know what happened, no, I know the truth.
And Body Count.
Cut your rules into my body, said it's all for love, I'm sorry.
And like just randomly at a party, because we were doing a tarot card reading, and her card like read me, like it was like, I think it was, what was it? The Queen of Swords, upside down, I believe, the reverse Queen of Swords. I'll try to put it up here on the screen if I can. And it was exactly my song Rewrite, which I wrote earlier in the week. And I was like, oh my gosh. And they're like, I don't know, this doesn't really sound like you. And I'm like, girlfriend. And I got my guitar and I played her that song, and it was like a crazy experience. The energy in the room was crazy. And she told me that she really thinks my music can help people. And I was like, I think that too now. I do. I believe that too now that I'm showing it on YouTube, and I occasionally get the oddball comment or two, and I'm like, me and you were the same. I find such fulfillment in being able to find my people, because when I wrote these songs, I felt like I was no one and I had no one. And now that I can find people who also share the same sentiment and can relate to this music, it is really the greatest gift that I could ask for. All of this to say, don't give up on the things that matter to you. Start small, allow yourself to fail. It's not in the falling down, but the staying down that differentiates an artist with the project that's lived in only their head for years and years and years and years from the artist that finally brings it into the world.
But don't go, don't leave. I can be whoever you want me to be. I found this wound here. Someone cut into me so long ago. It hasn't yet healed over. Can't stop picking at it. And you, with all your wounds too, can't help but do the same.